Hey guys, my name is Ryan, and today we're going to be doing another intermediate Spirit Island tutorial video, this time focused on Ocean's Hungry Grasp. Now, on the online Handalob version of the game, there are 12 of the spirits available. That would be all of the base game spirits, the promo pack number 1, and Branch and Claw. Of these 12, Ocean's Hungry Grasp is without a doubt the most team-dependent spirit of all. Well, why is that? Well, let's go straight to the special rule. So first, the oceans are in play. You may place and move presence into oceans, but not play or move presence into inland lands. Okay, so you can only go on the 3 coastal lands plus the ocean with your presence. Okay, and then it's a coastal wetlands in case that ever matters. But if you ever move any invader into an ocean or a Dahan into an ocean, they are drowned. When they are drowned, they are destroyed, and they are converted into energy. Now, this is one of the million different ways that Ocean's Hungry Grasp plays slightly differently depending on the context of the game. So it is, depending on the number of players in the game, determines how much energy you gain from drowned invaders. Okay, so it uses X as a number of players. So if you're in a 2-player game, X is equal to 2. So you would take the total health of the invaders and divide it by 2, and you would gain that much energy. So in a single-player game, every explorer is 1 energy. Okay, and towns 2 energy, and cities 3 energy. But in a 2-player game, right now, you need to drown 2 explorers for 1 energy. A town is an energy, and then a city would be, an energy, and then you'd 1.5 energy, really. And it goes up from there, where eventually you get up to a 6-player game where 2 cities is 1 energy, and it's really hard to get going. Now, Ocean's Hungry Grasp is really team dependent because any spirit can push any invader into an ocean and have them be drowned. So as you get into higher player counts, where you need a greater number of invaders to get the same amount of energy, you're more and more reliant on your teammates doing that pushing for you. So I've written up a quick list of all the spirits in the game, divided by whether or not they can push a town. There are some spirits that can push explorers that I left on the can't push a town side, but the spirits that can push a town with their starting cards or their innate is River, Serpent, Volcano, Bringer, Finder, Shadows, Green, Sharp Fangs, Wildfire, Vengeance, Starlight, Stone, Many Minds, Eyes, Rising Heat, and Whirlwind. There is no particular order to those spirits. It's not like those are better than the others, but the top 5 are, in my opinion, the 5 best teammates for Ocean, and that would be River, Serpent, Volcano, Bringer, and Finder. And those aren't in any particular order either. Now, the other spirits cannot push a town innately, and that would be Lightning, Vital Strength, Thunder Speaker, Keeper, Lure, Shroud, Fractured Daze, Shifting Memory, Trickster, Downpour, Devouring Teeth, and Fathomless Mud. So if those spirits are on your team, you're not likely to receive much support from them. Because really, the support that Ocean wants more than anything else is just pushing invaders into the ocean and giving it the energy so it can play cards. So if we take a look back at Ocean's panel, we can see that their innates and their starting cards, all the ones that can target a land, can only target a coastal land. And for the purpose of targeting, the ocean itself is a coastal land. So the only ways that you can interact with the inland land is either by drafting a card, at which point you have to hope to get lucky and draft a card that's relevant that also has range, or you're reliant on your teammate taking care of it for you. So sometimes you have low interactive games in Spirit Island where, you and your buddy are both kind of doing your own thing and you're not really offering each other a lot of support. If you're playing Ocean and someone's playing a spirit on that right list, the ones that don't have pushes, you're probably more likely than not to be playing just parallel to each other. You're not offering a lot of support. Any spirit that's on the left will be supporting Ocean and will be able to help them out. So in addition to that kind of support that comes with, pushing invaders into the Ocean on behalf of Ocean, not requiring Ocean to do it himself, another interesting thing when it comes to playing with multiple spirits, regardless of who you're teamed up with, is basically how you divide responsibilities. Sometimes you're in like a parallel play game where you're not really interacting with each other, and I'm like, hey man, I'm going to basically just solve board A solo, and you're going to solve board B solo, and, we're not really going to look at each other all that much. Only help the other guy out when you've already solved all your own problems. But with Ocean, those lines are a little fuzzier. So let's say we're just playing a 2-player game. I'm going to take care of all the coastal lands on both boards, and I'm going to ask you to take care of all the inland lands on both boards. So, that's 6 of the 16 lands for me, and then 10 of them for you. But, Ocean can draft a few cards and help out a little bit wherever they can. But, you start to think about responsibilities and how you subdivide the board in different ways. In a 3-player game, Ocean picks up 9 lands and everyone else picks up about an equal amount. So that's pretty balanced. Once you get to 4 and more, I find it really hard to play Ocean because for a lot of different reasons. First, it takes more and more and more invaders to get a single energy. I mean, a city's not even worth 1 energy when you get yourself up to a 4-player game. Secondly, you'll then be responsible for 12 to 18 tiles of coast, and that becomes so much more to deal with that you really can't even get yourself over to all the different boards, at which point, if you don't even have a presence on the board, then the oceans aren't actually in play on that board, right? So if we're playing a 6-player game and, I never make it over to board F, then the player on board F can't push things into the ocean. But one more reason why I don't like 4-player games with Ocean is if we take a look at growth number 2, it adds 2 presence into any ocean. So if you're playing a 3-player game, you have your presence on your starting board, and then you can immediately add a presence onto the 2nd and the 3rd board. And right off the bat from turn 1, every single board has oceans in play, and you're cruising. But once you get into a 4 or more, then you have to choose boards that do not gain access to the ocean immediately. And that kind of picking and choosing can be tricky because that's really the only growth option that allows you to grow onto another board. Unless if you have very specific board arrangements, you get pretty crafty with the way that you use growth number 3. But for the most part, the only way to get to a new board is growth number 2. And, especially in a 6-player game, right, it already takes 2 cities for 1 ocean. You'd have to use growth 2 3 times just to turn on every board. Very hard to do. But anyways, enough about that. Let's talk about board selection. Every single board in the game has 3 coastal lands, 3 lands that are 1 range away from a coastal land, and 2 lands that are 1 range away from a coastal land. Except for 1. Board D has 4 lands that are only 1 range away from a coastal land, and only 1 land that is 2 range away. Additionally, Board D is the only board in the game that has 2 matching terrain tiles on the coast. So this is considered to be Ocean's best board, but it's also a little bit riskier, right? This is way more of a feast or famine board because if Wetlands comes up, you're feeling great because your coasts are loaded. But if Wetlands does not come up, then, like if Sands or Mountains comes up, then you're really struggling because, you can't interact with them. So If I like playing board D as Ocean, a lot of spirits don't like playing as board D, so it's one of those things that you can just take one for the team and pick it up. If you're gonna play board D, it's nice to pair it with something like board C, because this one does not have a coastal wetland. Because if there's like any of the others that has a coastal wetland, you'd have 3 lands that are threatened with 1 action. It can sometimes be a little much to deal with, especially in the early game. Alright, so let's talk about adversary matchups. So Ocean is a little bit interesting in that I'm going to actually be subdividing one of the adversaries into 2 parts. So from easiest to hardest, I would say the easiest matchup for Ocean would be Scotland, but only at difficulties 1 through 4. At 1 through 4, every single bonus that Scotland has adds more invaders to the coast, which means you have more things to drown and you just get a lot more energy. And then the entire inland is completely generic. So, you don't have any inland issues. Okay, second, England. So England has constant perpetual builds, and this is actually a good thing for Ocean. One of the problems that can happen when you're playing Ocean is that you're so efficient and so effective at clearing the 3 coastal lands that you just run out of stuff to do. But England keeps on building over and over and over again. So you constantly have food, you're going to have tons of energy. Because you fully destroy things, you don't care about the extra health from England 5. So England 4 and England 5 has the same number of fear cards. The only difference is the extra health. These are actually perfectly equal in difficulty as far as Ocean is concerned. And then one of your innates is just fear. So the extra fear card is less dangerous as well. So Ocean is definitely the best England killer, probably in the whole game. Additionally, you can manipulate the stage 2 escalation. So you let one of the coastal lands build up, such that it is always the one that gets the extra build. And so on top of everything else, you have that much more food to eat. Okay, then France. France puts up a lot of buildings quickly. And so France is a really interesting invader to play against because you clear towns really efficiently. So you're really happy when they explore into your coastal lands, and you don't want to prevent the build. You let it build up, and then you knock it all right back down. And so that provides tons of food. And because France puts out so many towns, and towns, the majority of spirits can push towns pretty regularly, that's a very easy thing for Ocean to deal with. But because they're a little bit fragile, they tend not to make a lot of cities. And so that doesn't really become a problem. Next would be Brandenburg, Prussia. This is another one with their stage 2 escalation, being able to add a town to any land of your choosing. Just keep on adding those to the Ocean, and you keep on getting all of that free food. Besides that, Prussia's pretty generic. But, because they're, what's supposed to be added difficulty with a stage 2 escalation, I think it actually makes it easier because it just gives you more stuff to do. Then Sweden. Sweden is considered by many to be, the easiest adversary. It's the only one that doesn't have a level 10 difficulty. But the problem with Sweden is that the moment they get anything done inland, it just really snowballs on itself. And Ocean, especially when playing solo, generally has to concede some inland plays at the beginning of the game. It means you just get put super far behind against Sweden. Next, we'll have Scotland 5 and 6. So Scotland 5 says that when a coastal land blights, it also adds a blight into the ocean. So this can be really, really bad for Ocean, because let's say that you have a presence in land 1 and in the ocean. If this were to ravage and blight, it would kill this presence, and it would blight again in the ocean and kill one of those presents there as well. And that's devastating. Additionally, Scotland 6 makes the inlands much, much stronger. So you really don't have a way of interacting with the inlands outside of drafting cards, so you're really having to lean on your teammates in that moment. Then at the bottom we have Russia and then Habsburg. So Russia and Habsburg both have a durability mechanic, which really screws up the way that your drowning mechanic works. So Russia with their explorers and Habsburg with their towns. So if you were to push one of those into the ocean, okay, they will not die, and instead they'll get bounced back out. Russia is a little bit easier than Habsburg because you can bounce that explorer out and you can still, like deny builds, or, at least you can just farm fear by, drowning the explorer over and over and over again. Habsburg, you get no benefit at all. So against Habsburg, you have to figure out some kind of way to get a blight into your ocean, which requires, I can only think of one power card off the top of my head that lets you do that. So, and it's a completely off element power card. Or you have to let the ocean, you have to let the coast blight. It takes a lot of work before you can even start to play the game against Habsburg. So that is just a horrible mechanic, and I do not recommend it. All right, so for this game, I've decided that I actually want to do this one as a 2 spirit game instead of a 1 spirit game, just because I don't want to go through a whole tutorial and then just have us lose because we couldn't find a card with the right range and targeting and effects that we wanted to. So I want something a little bit more reliable, and I want to pick a really simple spirit that works really well with ocean. So we're going to pick River, something like that. So the goal for River will be to just push things out to the coast and let ocean do all the work. I'm actually thinking maybe I should just go up to England 5 and really neuter River, right? Make your top level doesn't really do anything. So that way we can focus more on ocean doing the drowning, let ocean be the carry, and River will play a strictly supporting role. So that's what we're going to do. So another thing when thinking about ocean is where to put your starting presence, because you actually have a choice. Now, in a purely generic setup, it doesn't really matter where you put it, right? There's no town starting on the coast. However, different adversaries have different setup changes, such that if you can get a town on your starting presence on the coast, you're in a very strong position, because as we'll see, we can drown a town on turn 1, and that's definitely a great idea to do. So here against England, we'll go into the jungles number 2, but against different adversaries, I'm just going to put that up on the screen. And here we're starting with a mountain explorer. So unfortunately, board D, that is both going to be inland lands, so we're going to be relying on River in order to deal with them. There is one coastal lane here, so that's absolutely ocean's responsibility. And this one here is probably just going to take a blight, right? But the city, we can't push it out. No innate defense, we can't reach it, so we're not even going to worry about that. We're going to have River deal with both of these lands. So you always want to start off with ocean by doing adding 2 presence, and you want to make sure that you have presence on every single board in the game. With this setup, it's pretty easy, right? We're just going to put both of them into the sea ocean. Now this does give you 1 energy, which is real nice because that allows you to play Tidal Boon, a great support card. But we can take a look at all our other choices as well. Right, so we could use like a Tidal Boon. Right, Call of Deeps doesn't do anything. It's a very weak card for us, but it does give us, the Explorer for a little bit of energy. Another option would be to do something like Swallow the Land Dwellers to drop this town here. However, because of our elements, we actually can already drown that town with Ocean Breaks the Shore. It's worth noting that even though Call of the Deeps is largely a waste in this matchup, it's the only starting card that has Wind, which gives us access to pound ships to splinters. So it's the only way that we can get our innate fear, which is obviously, a really important thing, especially when we're playing with a no fear spirit such as River. River, on the other hand, what are they going to do? If they're going to be receiving a Tidal Boon, then they know that they're going to want to get a presence into one of these into one of these mountains. So they're going to add their 2 presents, go for their standard double bottom opening as well. Okay, and because Tidal Boon also allows you to move Dahan, we're going to go this way so we can make use of the whole ability. And we'll do a wash away. So the wash away will allow us to push this one out. Tidal Boon will allow us to push this one out. And then River's Bounty will collect the Dahan that, Ocean doesn't really need. Tidal Boon to get these inland. So that way we can, start to do stuff. All right, Tidal Boon goes over this way. Or actually, sorry, before we do that, we're going to River's Bounty to gather that Dahan in. Yeah, we're going to gather that Dahan in. And then we'll do a Tidal Boon here. So we'll push this town. We don't want to go to the jungle just because we know it's going to be building next. So we're going to go over here to the wetland. And then we're going to push these guys towards this jungle because we know it's going to be active soon. Okay, over here we can push an explorer or a town. Has to be, this is our only sacred site. So what's interesting actually is we could push this explorer and there's only one adjacent building. So it'll actually deny this build. So even though I just pushed the Dahan here, we're just going to do that. Just go this way with it. I'm probably going to be making more mistakes than usual doing a two-handed, trying to play quickly enough while commentating. Okay, so now for Ocean, right, we can gain a power card. And obviously we care most about water. But then after that, the two elements I care about most would actually be wind and earth. The moon is nice. However, if we ever really need a moon that is the first element, we'd get off our presence track, so we could just go top track for a second. Wind allows us to get fear, and earth allows us to drown. The way that I see this game going, we're going to be fed a lot of invaders from all these pushes from River, since River really can't do anything himself. So we're prioritizing the water and the earth. As we take a look at our choices that are available to us, though, we only have one water card, and it has a moon, so Call It a Han Ways is cool. This is a great card in solo, because at range 1, it's basically like kills a town, turns it into a Han, so it allows you to solve inland problems, right? Like we could put a presence here, and then solve this inland town here. But let's take a look what else we got. Prowling Panthers has range 1, Mountain Jungle. Okay, so these mountains are at range 1. This jungle's at range 1, so that's 3 lands that's useful. And if there's a beast, we can kill a town. So that's good, right? Like we could use it right here on this next turn to destroy that town that's going to be building next. Lure of the Unknown. So we can gather an explorer or a town. And this has a wind, so that's really nice. And we can actually use this targeting an ocean, and we can pull in a coastal town to drown something fast. So that's really nice. And then last we have Drift Down into Slumber, range 2, and it has wind and earth, both ones that we care about, even though it doesn't have the water. It has my 2 secondary elements, so I like this one a lot. Range 2 is really nice, and Defend 4 is great as well. So that Defend 4, right, it'll solve this. It can help here. It won't completely solve it because we have Jungle coming up next. So that's a really good card. This is actually, like none of these cards are absolute slam dunks that I'd want to take every single time. But none of these cards are useless either. We can find value with all of them. Prowling Panthers is probably the worst because you have to play it twice before you really start tangibly affecting the board. And it doesn't really have our 3 most important elements. It has our least important element of all. So I'm not going to take that one. I can eliminate that one quickly. But Lure of the Unknown is great just to, pop a town conveniently. This Defend Inland really good. Gives us an effect that River doesn't have access to. And then Call It a Han Ways allows us to create more Dahan. Of course, he can create his own Dahan as well. So that effect isn't as good. So I think this defend is probably the one that I'm going to take. Okay, then the other things we get to do is we get to add a town to a coastal land. So we will add it. We want to add it into lands that we think will be active because we have our innates are range 0 drown. And then we get to push out from every ocean. Okay, and I'll go here. So we're planning on just dropping a defense right here, so we don't need to have presence in that land. Right, we have a defend 4. And this costs 0. We're probably just going to be reclaiming anyways, and this does give us 1 fear. So that's going to be our play. Coming over here for river, we're just going to go with a pretty standard opening, just going straight across the bottom. Since we know this land is not going to build, we can now work our way around, and we can get our sacred site right here in the middle. Okay, do the standard reclaim, boom, boom, boom. Okay, we get the defend 4 here. We will put a defend here. Maybe there's going to be like a +1 damage or some kind of weird effect. Boon of Vigor, right? It's much more powerful when it goes to a teammate. Gives them 3 energy. And then Flash Floods doesn't really do anything for us, right? Is there a, like, if we kill this explorer, it still builds. Yeah, you know, there's not a lot of value from this one. So I'm just going to target here just to reduce the amount, like, so that way we can use a defend 4 because we have 2 different defend 4 cards in order to solve this land. After it builds, it'll be hitting for 5. 2 damage and lands with disease. Great. Cool. Makes no difference to me. It's free defend. Yippee skippy. And we are off to the races. We hit that wetland. The wetland's what we want. So one of the things that we were talking about before is you want to control which land is going to be the big inland land that gets the extra builds every single turn. And so our goal is to control the game such that Wetlands 1 is going to be that land. So on this entire board, these other ones only have 1 building on them, right? Even after these build, it'll only have 1 building. So we can always kill this one. We can also kill this one down to 1, right? Because it'll build here, and then it'll have 2. Everything else will have 1. So it will be the most, and it will get the extra build. So we can actually drown 2 towns right here with these 2 cards. The only unfortunate thing is that will kill both these Tahans, so let's save them with a River's Bounty. And then we can drop these 2. Only question is, if we drown that town, then it doesn't really make a difference. So, yeah, I'll drown this town, and we will make it such that this will be the big land on board C. Actually, sorry, let's undo that. Let's kill that explorer. Get little kills whenever we can. Right, so now this has 3, and everything else is at 2 or less. This will build up to 3, which means that we'll have a choice, and we can just choose to go to the sands. It'll pop the disease, but it'll allow us to control our own gameplay. All right, heading into the next round. Looks like we're on a reclaim turn for Ocean. So this is where you really need to start thinking about your bigger overall strategy with Ocean. Because one of the parts of reclaiming is that you gather your presence into the ocean. If you have to reclaim too many turns in a row, then you're going to wind up with all of your presence in the ocean, nothing in the coast, which means that your right innate just doesn't do anything whatsoever. So sometimes you have to be finding ways where you can just skip reclaims, or you have to just kind of eat unfortunate circumstances. so that way you don't reclaim too many turns in a row. Reclaiming twice in a row is just a death knell for this spirit. And so for that reason, I like to stick with miners for as long as I can, so that way you don't just run out of cards. Because if we keep on picking up majors, but keep on increasing the number of card plays, we only have 5 cards in hand right now. So we'd play 5, now we're out, so we reclaim. So we play 5, so we're out, so we reclaim. And you can't do anything else. So I'm going to keep on picking up miners. The tricky thing is that we're going to be getting all of this energy because of all the support coming out of river. So we're going to have the energy to go for these big majors. All right, but here looking at these, we only have one of them that has water again. Range 1 adds a disease to a jungle sands. Sands hasn't come up yet, and if it still doesn't come up, we can load up a bunch of diseases on some sands. So let's see. This jungle, this sands, and both of these sands. So there's 4 good targets for Flesh Rot Fever. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. It has the wind, which gives us the fear, so that's nice. Now, Dark and Tangled Woods gives us to defend 3, and that's going to be pretty good. It will protect one of our coastal lands, so we can hold on to one of our other defend cards. We would definitely be holding on to the Grasping Tide, because these other ones are restricted by the type of land, and we have wetlands coming up. So Grasping Tide would be the one that we go for if we were to take Dark and Tangled Woods. Drought is a card that I take all the time as Ocean, because it allows you to interact with inland stuff, and similarly the exact same thing with Scour the Land. Scour the Land is actually a little bit better because it has the extra range, so it can reach anywhere on the board. They both add a blight, they both destroy 3 towns. Drought does have the ability to destroy a city, but we never get that. We're more likely to make this power fast as opposed to destroy a city. So between them, Drought's definitely the worst of all of them. It also gives us, the Earth element's actually pretty good. But this has wind and earth. So even on element, Scour is still better. However, I'm not looking to do anything too crazy, too aggressive. So I'm looking at Flesh Rot and Dark and Tangled Woods. And I'm going to expect that we are going to... So if I were to take Dark and Tangled Woods, right, I would have the extra defend for this land here. This land here I can actually prevent the build by just eating up that Explorer. There's only one adjacent building, so that's cool. And then this doesn't have any coastal wetlands. So I would be able to protect those lands, and then that would allow me to defend 4. That gives me a lot of flexibility. So actually, I like that. I'm going to take Dark and Tangled Woods. Here, we'll just go here and here. We want to keep our presence in these big lands that are going to be built up, because we're going to be constantly hitting them with our building drown abilities. Okay, we only get 3 card plays, and we actually didn't even get the ability to drown a building. And I do want that. So, drift down into slumber. Will go away, and we'll replace it with Grasping Tide. So all that effort I put into the talking about getting Grasping Tide, it doesn't pay off. Now the question is that a good enough reason for me to go back and take the disease? Probably. So water, wind. Well, I'll be playing these. I'd just be replacing Dark and Tangled Woods with the Drift Down Slur. I still wouldn't be playing it this turn. I think this is fine. I think the utility of a defend 3 is better than a single disease. Over here, looking at river, as far as Ravages goes, things are going just fine for us. So this is a good turn to just be a little cheaty, and we're just going to gain a power card. Okay, Gift of Power is fantastic. It's on element for us, but also being able to constantly give tons of cards over to Ocean. It'll give Ocean the ability to forget cards, so you can go for majors. So that's very relevant. A disease is nice. Blight removal is nice. Dahan movement doesn't really do anything for us. I think Gift of Power is going to be the take. And we'll get a reclaim. We'll just do the wash away. So we'll stick with our game plan of giving stuff. Although actually, that doesn't allow us to... We're going to undo that. And instead, we're going to reclaim something that has a sun. So let's go for the River's Bounty. That way we'll have our innate going. And over here, I'm going to go for some energy. Normally, you'd want to go for 4 card plays, so that way you could hit the top level of your innate. But I chose England 5 to basically delete this game plan. So we're eventually going to want to get into majors. So therefore, we're going to have to go top track. And so I'm just going to throw this guy over here just for the free sacred site. Okay, lots of fear. Farmers. So what's interesting is that this one still... No, that'll build and then that'll build. Okay. Let's see, add a blight to a land with least 2 buildings. Blight here, kill both of my presents. I can't do that, so we have to teach. Okay. Pick a land to add a building into it. So I can't pick one of these, right? We're going to want to, well, also because of the Dahan restriction. Right, so we're going to go here, and we can safely go over here, just so that we know it's more food for the future. Then on one land, we add a disease and kill a Dahan. And so we have plenty of Dahan over here. We can happily sacrifice one. Oh, that made a build here, which made a build here. That's so bad for us. And we're going to go into here. Definitely don't want to pick the mountain because that's popping up. That would just make our bad situation even worse. This just became pretty unfortunate for us. Okay, so we can drown a town. Obviously, we're going to go here. Okay, now we can push an explorer or a town. We will protect this land. We'll push that into the ocean. Give him a power. Rain of Blood and Reaching Grasp both have those 2 elements. Just tons of fear, let you just churn through the fear deck super hard. But Elemental Boon is great for these specific spirits because they both want the water, they both want the earth, and then it gives you flexibility. So I'm actually going to go for Elemental Boon here. And then River's Bounty. Let us go here. We'll take you and you. Okay, so Ocean, because we got that extra card, we can now afford to gain another card and forget. Drift Down to Slumber is losing a lot of value, so that's going to be the card that we're going to forget. I generally choose to only take a major when I've already decided what I intend to forget in the future. And here, there seems to not really be anything special. Jungle Hungers is obviously fantastic. We have a jungle on both coasts. We do have Dark and Tangle Woods, and that would make me want to hold on to Drift Down, but I'm sure we can pick up another grass at some point. Power Storm is cool. Completely off element, but it's pretty cool. Pyroclastic Flow, largely off element. Rapid Wings of Sunlight's a super good card. We could use that to save anything. So it really comes down to Jungle Hungers versus Rap. And I'm inclined to go for Rap. That'll protect something out here. Pretty far away to getting another fear, because we're definitely going to need to rely on a good event or a fear card to save us. Let's see. What do I want to do? I think I'm going to go for Jungle Hungers. It is just way too strong against England. So you just got to go for it. All right, so we're gonna push out into this land here so we can get some drowns in. So I am generally like to keep balance, right? We have three presents over here, but only 2 over here. So my next presence will be added over here. And then we'll push out. And here we'll probably be just taking a blight here. So I'm going to push this out into this land to maintain control of the big land. Here we're probably going to be taking a wind water. Right, that'll hit 2 of our innates at level 2. Wind water. We could have kept the other card and gone for a grass, but I think that's kind of short-sighted doing that. And river, we're just going to reclaim. And this flash floods is a complete blank, so we're going to go for a major and see what we can get. I do like Paralyzing Fright, just to deal with this land here. Don't let it get too far out of control. This is just worse version of Paralyzing Fright. It's less fear and doesn't actually do anything. Twisted Murmurs is pretty good. Let's see. We have no wind, but the moon grass we have on gift. We have another grass there. So any moon wind card, we'd be able to threshold it, and that's a very powerful threshold. Right here, the wind earth. We have a couple earth cards, but no other wind. Same problem. Unlock is funny, but you know these cards are good enough that I don't think we need unlock. Removing 2 invaders is huge against England. So this has a much bigger upside, so I'm gonna take that. Okay. And let's see. So we know we're going for a wind and a... Actually, if we're going for a wind, water, could I threshold this? Let's see. Yeah, if I just take a moon as well, I can threshold this. Let's do it. So that'll be a wind, water, moon. And that's thresholded. Sweet. Boon of Vigor. Couple free fear, not enough. We're going to be taking a blight here, and we're just praying all around the board. All right, how much wind do we have? We have 3 out of 8. Well, definitely getting rid of the fear card is nice because that'll put us up to terror level 2 pretty quick. So let's see. Over here, we'll have you pay, I don't know, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll have you pay 3. And over here, we'll have you pay 2. Why? I don't know. All right, add beast to a jungle. All right, so we want to just spread these guys out. Get the fear. And add a wilds. So we'll go, I don't know, here and here. Wilds really don't do anything against England. Okay. What do we have here? Okay, so we got sands. So we can give the tidal boon over here, and we can push this sands out. We'll go that over there. Jungle hungers. We can target here to kill a single town, or here to kill 2 towns. Okay, we can drown a city. We can drown a town. All right, so everything here is at 2, so we can still keep on getting the free builds on the coast, and we have the wetlands, of course. Over here, Where do I even have any sacred sites left? This is my only sacred site. Oh, that's awful. So really, this is my only target. Okay, Gift of Power. Okay, has all of the elements. That's really all I care about. And then we'll push 3 things. Once again, it has to be adjacent to that, so we'll just kind of kill a couple of things. River's in a tough place all of a sudden. This land's running away. Okay, so we'll go here and here. We'll take the reclaim one on this, so that way we can interact with this land. Okay, we're way too far away to threshold it, but will allow us to remove 2 invaders, because that's going to build up to 6 off of this card. So we want to kick that back down to 4. And then Ocean, right? We have to reclaim again. So there's this forwards and backwards pattern that happens when you play Ocean. Pull Beneath the Hungry Earth is normally a great card, right? It's got all the good elements. However, it doesn't kill anything because it just does 2 damage. So that's not going to be it. Probably Portents of Disaster, just tons of fear. We do have plenty of win cards though. Guardian Serpents is nice, giving access to more defend. So actually, I think I'll do Guardian Serpents. I think it has a bigger upside. Okay, we can pull back here, and we can pull back here, so we don't get blighted. Okay, so we can't use Jungle Hungers now, but we can do all kinds of other fun things. Let's see. We're ravaging for a ton in all of these places. I've got nothing good to show for it. 4 and a 3, so that takes care of that land. And then with only 2 other cards, we're going to want to get a wind and 2 waters. So I can go here and just pick up a couple explorers, gets that wind, and then any water earth card will do the trick. So we'll do this one. That'll get us a city. Sacrifice and sacrifice. Okay, replace a whole bunch of invaders. Land with a city to a land with no city, so we'll go this way. And we'll push these. We're hoping for a fear card that's going to help us out. So we know we're going into the sand, so we'll go here. Explore or a town for land with 2 or fewer invaders. Okay, so there's no direct solutions to our mountains problems, but we can at least, since we can just deny a couple cities from existing by removing some of these towns. Okay, we can deny a ravage. So we're gonna go here. Right, this one we can't stop, and this one there's one more fear card, so that Dahan might help us. Oh, each player chooses. Okay, well in that case we're solved. Okay, 1 damage per Dahan. That looks like a city kill. And then over here, that's going to kill a town, and then the 2 damage won't be enough to do anything else. But there is really no other relevant land. So, yeah, it doesn't do anything. We'll kill this explorer. Okay. So, obviously we're focused on this land here, so we'll swallow. And we'll take care of that city. Now it's at 4, and we could defend it with a Guardian Serpents or, something else. River's Bounty. All right, we're going to want to go here. Let's take you two. Okay, Twisted Murmurs, right? So we need to do this just to prevent the build from causing an end game there. So we strife this piece, and then we get to remove 2 pieces. City and city. Okay. With Wash Away, let's see, is there any good high value washaways? You can get 2 pieces into the ocean from this jungle, and that's coming up next. So that's probably my best spot. Okay, and then I can push 1 more building from a sacred site. Got this. That's going to be ravaging, so let's just save that. Okay. And now we are at our 5 card plays for Ocean, finally. And we will... Call to Trade is fantastic. It gives us all of our elements. I don't want to go through Sacrifice. And so yeah, no, this is the best card. It's just a great defensive card. It does come at a steep cost, particularly against England, but it's good. I want to go this way. I'm going to steer away. Steer clear. Okay, we'll go here, pick up a miner. And really, I'm looking to threshold Twisted Flowers. I'm really not so concerned about our innate. But, let's see, we have a Defend 4, and we have a Strife, both of which solve these 2 lands. And between the 2 of them, this Defend 4 is on element. Right, it gives me the water, but also I get the wind. They both have wind. But Find the Sky doesn't give me anything else. It does give me 2 fear, but this is marginally more on elements, so I'll take it. Okay. Over here, right, since I have a turn where I can play Jungle Hungers, I'm thinking I might do that. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I can play all but one of these cards. I definitely want to play Guardian Serpents to protect the other land. Here. Or protect myself here, right, with the Sacred Site. Right, maybe I just do something like a Call to Trade. Right, well, now we're going to play Tidal Boon. Probably just going to go... Like if we do this, I want a water. I want 2 waters. Maybe I do this, and I get the extra. I go water, moon, plus whatever he wants. Because if I do that, right? Well, if I did this, and I picked up a grass off of this, a grass and a water would give me the water would give me this, the grass would give me this, and then I could go for a whatever. It's not so bad. Alright, Jungle Hunter's Threshold is pretty nice. Yeah, it's probably what I'm going to do. Over here, I don't believe in any other defense. We're going to keep on playing Twisted Flowers and, keep the party going for ourselves. Card's just too good. Just gotta keep playing it. Okay. So, are we anywhere close to that? No. Okay, so Elemental Boon, water, grass, and then, I don't know, wind. So this Call to Trade, I can save one of these lands I will go here. So I can gather this and then also gather the town, which also denies a city from existing. Okay, we can do a defend 4 and a defend 4. Sacrifice. This whole sacrificing presence thing is really killing my mojo. Yeah, I guess we'll get rid of this guy. Okay, we'll blight there. And blight here. I can't afford to sacrifice any more presence. And then, yep, these kill explorers. Okay, removes an explorer or a town from an inland land. Right, maybe we just pick up these 2 towns. Doesn't change our setting very much. But it's probably the best. Okay, Jungle Hungers. Well, we can target from this land too, but there's nothing exciting here. But we can pick up quite a bit right there. Okay, Tidal Boon, what would we want to target? With jungles. Doesn't have any presence in any jungles, but we can push this wetlands out. So we'll do that. And then the 2 Dahan go up this way, I guess. We can drown a city. We're going to be reclaiming. We can use steam vents to destroy that. So yeah, let's pick up that city while we have a chance. Yeah, at this point these guys are already the big ones. Okay, if we're moving 2 invaders, we have to target this mountains again, unfortunately. Okay, we're going to be removing 2 of those cities, so we'll strafe a town. Remove a city. And remove a city. Okay. Gather some Dahan from over here. And we can push 3 things. It's my only 2 sacred sites. Okay, since we're going to get the reclaim, we're going to be able to play 4 cards anyways, so I'm going to add 2 presents. Try and get all my shit back. And we'll just get ourselves a sacred site out here. Okay, tons of energy. Just stick with the game plan. Just keep on playing the same card over and over until we finally win. Alright, yeah, so if we get 2 elements, then we can threshold this again. So here we go, we're going to reclaim. Start looking for good mages. Alright, so Tsunami. Tsunami is a trap. I see people think that this card is any good on Ocean, but all it does is prevent you from being able to do the game plan that you want. Sure, it's a free threshold, and I mean, there are situations where you could just take it against England and just do fine. However, if we play Tsunami more than once, then we just don't really have anything left to drown. So I really don't like taking this card against England, but I've had it recommended to me, so I had to get that off my chest. Mists of Oblivion is cool. It's a lot worse against England, where you're basically just going to be killing like a single town or a single city and, you know, getting 3 fear. I mean, I'd probably rather take Tsunami. This card sucks, and Poison Land, you know, without the threshold that we're not gonna get, it's probably not the good card to take. You know what? I was just rambling against Tsunami. I think we can get 1... Because we can't even get 1 use, because we need a Sacred Site. We're not going to have a Sacred Site anywhere. I'll take Mist of Oblivion. It's got our elements. I'm not excited about it, but it's better than, I don't know, Call of the Deeps. Take back you so we can drown something, and we'll take back you so we don't die. Really, I'm just looking for a blazing, getting your destroyed presence back card. That's really all I want right now. Okay, want our defend 4. No presence in the jungle, so we don't want to play Jungle Hungers. Let's see. No sacred sites in any of these jungles, so that's not going to do anything. Dark Entangled Woods. It will protect myself here, and I can defend 4 here and hope we close the gap with a fear card. 2 more cards. So over here, we know we're taking a moon and a wind, which are 2 of the elements for mist. But we have plenty of moon already. All right, so that wind is the second wind. So if we get a wind, water, or just a wind, any wind card, we'll threshold this. Any wind card for a threshold. We're not taking a water. Or I guess we're taking a moon wind. Yeah, so we can take a water off of this. So any wind, water, earth card. Be that, or I can do this in order to protect this land. So we're looking at 1 Blight Cascade. Cool. Really, we're just trying to survive until we can work through this whole thing. Let's get some elements first. We want moon, wind, and water. All right, so that should threshold this. Puts me at top level for fear. Tons of energy. We'll go here. Oh, destroying this present sucks. Want to keep both of these because of the 2 wetlands. So I'll sacrifice this guy. And out here, I have 2 sacred sites here, so we'll sacrifice that guy. Ravaging inlands with the Hauntslip, no effect. And then can play a card now. Oh, terror level 3, so Culture doesn't do anything. Alright, well. Looks like we're going to have to use Twisted Flowers. Deal with that. It's better than losing. I'm going to target this one because this has Dahan. Dahan might help because of a fear card. Strife. Remove. Okay, remove and export down from only one presence or a city from a sacred site. Cities are always better to remove. So goodbye to that city. And then that'll deny a city. Okay, add a strife here. Okay. And I can put the other strife here too. Right, so that fully protects the land. Great. Oh, Scapegoats. It's the best terror level 3 card in the game. Especially against England. Alright. Wetlands is the big one, since they're ravaging then building. So Mists of Oblivion, we can kill a single town. But we'll drown this. Protect ourselves there. There's too many cities to try and go for a Terror level 3 win. So I'm just going to try and pick up as much as I can as we go. Do I target myself? I feel like Ocean's got a good thing going, so we're going to target ourselves. And I like blight removal. Makes me happy. Okay. See, we could push 2 towns in here. We could clear this land. But this land I'm not going to clear because we can use something like a Guardian Serpents to deal with it. So, yeah, we're just going to feed the ocean. Keep it topped off. Mists of Oblivion will go out here. Okay, Sacred Site, we can do a little bit of a damage, a little bit of a push. Nothing too crazy's going on right now. So we'll just clean up this sands a little bit. Because that's going to be ravaging next. Great. So once you're at 10 cards, you can constantly just pick up majors because you can, get 2 full sets of card plays. So this is kind of like the sweet spot where you can, and there it is. That's the card I was looking for. I just want to make sure that we don't have a loss condition because we're only adding 1 presence every 2 turns. So we're basically on like a 3-turn clock before we just lose. But Blazing Renewal is a great insurance policy. So now that's no longer possible. And we'll sacrifice... We can hold on to Jungle Hungers now. Maybe we'll sacrifice... Yeah, this Call to Trade doesn't do anything anymore. It's just elements. So, you're gone. Alright, and this side has only 2 presents, so I'm going to add 1 here. And then we get to push out. Push out here. Great. So actually, maybe I might undo that push. Yeah, and I'll just have it get destroyed with steam vents. So I'm going to undo that push. Go this way. Steam vents, as long as we hit 3 earth, we can destroy a town fast. That'll protect this land. And then this land's good. So then we'll play this to give a defend 4 here. So now we're not going to take any blight this turn. And now we can just be focused on doing, whatever we have to do just to get ourselves ahead. As long as we play 1 more earth card, which, we're going to do. So let's see. Jungles are going to build. We can do that. And with 1 more water, it'll give us a city drown, so we'll be able to have our cake and eat it too. Let's see, without thresholding, is that exciting? Not really. So we'll just play our Blazing Renewal. We might be able to combo this with something that River does in order to, actually do damage and kill things. Alright, so I'm just going to go for a minor. Looking for something that's going to give us perfect elements with Twisted Flowers, because this card has just been our savior this whole game. But instead, Quicken the Earth Struggle is a sweet card, especially as we're looking for next turn, where we're going to build and then Ravage. So that'll protect ourselves. We need to have that kind of defense. We can't use something like Visions in order to protect ourselves. Encompassing Ward is perfect elements, right? Blight removal. Gotta love that blight removal, but we already have one of the exact same elements. Because of Encompassing Ward, I could just not play Guardian Serpents. and then spend the energy on jungle hungers instead. If I were to do that, I'm only looking at 1 town kill at best. That's not too exciting. So Encompassing Ward seems to not have much upside. I think Quicken is the best upside for us. Okay, so everything's fully defended. All I have to do is focus on winning. Let's go Boon. Considering we're playing Blazing Renewal, I might just go for my Massive Flooding, and then maybe just clean up like this city, this mountains, or whatever is the most built up thing in that moment. So let's see. That would be me playing something like this. And it does seem pretty decent to me. Seems to cover all our bases. Plus, why not? Okay, so Fear, and then Blazing Renewal. If I were to target the ocean, I can't go in the land that I'm targeting. So I have to target river in order to go after this big mountains. That's the biggest land that we have in front of us. So I'm just going to go for it. It is really strifed though. But this one has 4 fear. When we kill it, this has only 3 fear, 3 fear, 3 fear. So I'm going to go for the most amount of fear to push the end game as fast as we can. Okay. Go here. And we will go. I want the Dahan in this land. So I'll just sacrifice that one. Why not? Alright, basically kill a Dahan on each board. So kill this one because mountains are inactive, right? There's no action that shows a mountain's coming up anytime soon. And jungles are kind of inactive, right? They're not going to be attacking or ravaging anytime soon. Okay, tokens deal 2 damage. Okay, 2 damage. 2 Dahan, 2 buildings. I hope this doesn't blake me out. 1, 2. I will make you lose a presence down to 2 presence. Have to play Blazing Renewal. It's probably fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fuck. Oh, that's too much. Okay. Alright, this will go this way. So in case you want to just let that be. Here we'll have to... Oh, wait a second. Are you allowed to cascade that into the ocean? You should not be able to. I believe it's a bug if it lets you cascade this into the ocean. Because the ocean should not be in play. Huh. It's treated as a coastal wetland for blight. I had no idea. If that's correct, that's fascinating. That's just a great way to protect my scarce Dahan, or scarce presence. Great, gather and defend. So we can gather here. And then here, if I want to gather this way. I want that to die in the Ravage. So I'll only grab you. Okay. Downgrade a city in a coastal land? Cool. This will have no effect, right? Because that's going to build and it's going to be a town city no matter what. So we're going to go this way. And then we'll just... This will have an effect, right? Because if we leave it, it'll be 2 towns, 2 cities. But instead it'll be 3 towns, 1 city. So we'll hit you. Awesome. All right, well, we'll do a massive flooding in the land, where we set it all up. And that's a fear victory. So this game, we were really able to exemplify the strengths of the ocean. River really didn't do anything, just besides giving some energy over a bunch with Boon of Vigor, but really the strength of River came from using Wash Away, pushing stuff into the ocean, giving Ocean all that energy so we could end the game with 3 or 4 majors in our grip. We did an alternative build, and we basically played River in a very non-traditional manner, the way that you have to play him against England 5. Thankfully, we picked up a good major that was able to stave off the 7 building loss condition. And, overall it was a good game. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any requests for any future videos, please let me know. I've been doing a lot on this app, but I'm thinking I might want to start recording some TTS games, which will allow us to access Jagged Earth and all the other spirits that aren't in the original 12. Anyways, thank you and have a good day.